All right, and welcome to the Spinato Spin. We're right here now. It's a Wednesday, August 28th. The summer seems to have been sucked out of the air. It's not as humid, not as dense. The weather's a lot better here in the Northeast, although we did have some rain that blasted through today a little bit. But other than that, this is the end of the summer, and this is the last few weeks here. Kids are going back to school, and things are really starting to shape up. Well, let's talk about something tonight that I think is very powerful. Three powerful words we'll start out with, and it's from it's from a sales trainer, great positive individual, Tom Hopkins. I heard him say this before, and it's in one of his books. And he points out, he says, you got to have this type of attitude about yourself before you can go out and try to convince somebody else that they're in for something good. Well, the bottom line is there's three words, and it goes like this. It goes faith, courage, and enthusiasm. It goes like this. This is the whole presentation of it and what he really wants us to think about while we're out there selling ourselves or doing anything positive in our lives. He said, you say yourself something real simple. You said, I will win. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I have faith, courage, and enthusiasm. You see, you walk out the door with that type of thing in your mind, it's going to make a big impact on your day. I mean, think about faith for a second. Now, faith is a very powerful word. Without getting overly spiritual with you, let's just zero in on faith for a second. Faith means that you actually believe. And belief has certain tiers to it. Somebody could sit back and say, well, I think you ought to do this. Another person could say, well, I believe you ought to do this. Well, what really makes the difference between somebody with faith and belief is conviction. If you have a conviction, you think about it, you think about the chicken and the egg, right? You walk down the street and you see the chicken, you see the egg, and then you see the pig, okay? And you add it all up, and what do you got? You got a bacon and egg breakfast in front of you, right? Well, who made more of a commitment so you can have that breakfast the way you had? Was it the chicken? Was it the egg? Or was it the pig? Well, if you're eating bacon, it's probably the pig, right? Well, that's the kind of conviction we're talking about. That's the kind of faith you need to have going forward. You got to have faith, courage, and enthusiasm. Well, faith is one thing. We can look right here one more time on the screen. Faith is a pillar. Faith is a building block for what you're going to do forward, because if you can have faith and you can have an unbelievable belief that you could do something, the next thing you got to have is courage. There's two types of courage. Unfortunately, most people don't get the real good kinds of courage. You know what the right kind of courage is? Encouragement. To tell somebody that they could do something, to encourage them to be the best that they can, to try their hardest. Most people get discouragement. Oh, you won't be able to do that. Oh, well, you can't do that. This is going to happen here. This might happen here and all that. And they give you all this garbage. You don't want that. You want encouragement. You want to be able to encourage somebody, but at the same time, you want to be encouraged. Nobody really has courage until they have encouragement. You got to have courage to give things a shot. You got to have courage to keep going. There's so much in life that we can do better if we just had a little bit more courage. And there's so much more we could do if we just surrounded ourselves with people that actually can encourage us. When someone's down, someone's hurting, sit down with them, kneecap to kneecap, and start saying, man, it's going to be great when you get this thing going. Man, it's going to be great when you're sitting there. How will you feel when you're out there and people recognize, or you realize you're sitting there maybe in front of a nice dinner celebrating the fact that you did something you told yourself you were going to do a couple months ago or maybe a year ago? That rolls right into the next one. How about enthusiasm? I'm trying to portray a little of that to you right now. Enthusiasm. You know what they say the best definition of a winner is? They say most people, if not everybody, can stay excited for 1 minute, right? They can stay enthusiastic, excited for 1 minute. Some people can stay excited, enthusiastic about accomplishing something or doing something special for an hour. Others can do it for a day, keep themselves excited. Some people can do it for a month. Other people do it for a year. You know what the definition of a winner really is? A person that can stay excited, motivated, and fired up about something until it gets done. That's who you want to have with you, right? You don't want somebody saying, well, I'll try this for a week. We'll see how that goes. No, that's not how great things happen. Great things didn't happen because they decided to try it for a week. It happens because they were committed to it until it got done. Look at the lighting you have around you right now while you're watching this. Those lights wouldn't be there unless one guy said, I'm not giving up until it's done. His name was Thomas Edison. What did he do? He invented the light bulb. He didn't give it a shot and say, well, I'll give it a week, see if I can come up with this light bulb. No, he kept going. He tried 10,000 times to invent that light bulb. Look at Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. We've all heard of that. He went through 1,000 no's before he got his first yes. He went through 1,000 people telling him no before he got his first yes. Let that sink in. Stamp that on your brain next time you feel like quitting or giving up on anything. How about if you want to lose weight, you want to exercise, you want to do something with your body to make it better? Well, you can't just do it for a day. You can't just do it for a week. You can't just do it for a month. You got to do it for a series of months. You got to keep yourself in the fold, but you got to be excited about it. We want to be around people that are excited. One of the most important things that a lot of people don't fully realize is that whatever they're doing right now that ain't working, you got to remove it. You got to remove it. You got to extinguish it. The Bible has a very powerful passage. Jesus says to the fig tree, he says, get the fig tree out of here. It's not producing any fruit. If you're not producing anything, you got to remove it. Well, you got to look and see what it is that you want to achieve from everything that you do. You want to be that person that decides what exactly is working. How do I change it to make it work? How do I change what's going on and make it work better or make it work for me? You see, the other thing is you got to have enough guts to replace it. You see, you don't want to create a vacuum. That's what happens with a lot of people. They say, well, I'm going to quit this. Yeah, but what are you going to do in its place? You see, that's the next question. When someone says, well, I'm going to give up eating this, I'm going to give up smoking, I'm going to give up drinking, I'm going to give up, sitting around watching TV. And, well, what are you going to do in its to replace it? That's the difference. You got to remove it, and then you got to replace it. You got to do it all in the same breath. And here's another thing, too, what a lot of people need to focus on a little bit more, along with faith, courage, and enthusiasm. They got to think that way about whatever they're attempting to do in their lives. They got to realize whatever they want, they're going to have to pay a price. Whatever I want, I'm going to have to pay a price. But the most important part about that whole concept is I got to decide in advance what price I am willing to pay. That's the question to you. What price are you willing to pay to get something that you really want? Anyone can say, well, I want this, I want that. Yeah, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? What is it worth in terms of your life that you're willing to give up to get that? That's what it comes down to. Faith, courage, and enthusiasm. Attack life that way, and a lot of things will be a lot better for you. It's always great talking to you on Spinato Spin. Have yourself a great night, and take care, everybody.